So in this set of problems, the first set, we're going to talk about the appetizer problems, where they're very straightforward, pretty simple, pretty quickly evaluated, and starting with 2 to the x equals 5. So what we want to recognize here is that we have this expression that contains the variable, and that expression that contains the variable is isolated. So then we move to step 2. Step 2 would be we recognize, oh, we've got our variable locked up here in our exponent, and when we want to unlock that, we want to look at, can we express these two bases as a power of the same number? Well, we can't. That's why we need to use logs. So therefore, we take this our bread and butter, y equals a to the x, and we convert that. So 2 to the x equals 5 converts to log base 2 of 5 is equal to x. And lo and behold, the equation is solved. So we're done. We're done solving for that. And then if by chance, let's say on Khan Academy, you have to actually figure out what the value of that is by typing it into the calculator, then you'd have to actually use that change of base formula. And so we would write, okay, so x is equal to log of 5 over log of 2. And when we type that in, log of 5, I'm typing it in my calculator right now, divided by log of 2, we would get 2.322. So x is equal to 2.322. And again, you would only need to do that if it were, let's say, a multiple choice test, or you had to type in the approximation to the log expression. And I should point out as well, you might think, well, what about the ln? Well, yeah, if you convert to log base e, then you have log ln of 5 over ln of 2. Both of these expressions will give you the same exact number. So it doesn't matter what you change the base to. Change it to base 10, change it to base e. It would be a rare occasion that you would have to change the base to something besides a 10 or an e. So anyway, that is how you solve first problem. Second problem, let's look at that. So the second problem, 3 to the 2x equals 4. Okay, well, again, we see that our expression that contains the variable is isolated. We know that our variable is in the exponent, and if the variable is in the exponent, we have an exponential equation. I always want to point out that you want to check to make sure that the bases, if you can't get the bases to be a power of the same number, then you have to go to logs. That's why we're doing logs here. But you want to be thinking about that, because eventually you get a problem, and you might see a problem like 3 to the 2x is equal to 9, and then when you're so wrapped up in doing logs, you might think to do logs. But no, you wouldn't do logs there. You would convert to exponents. So you always want to be thinking about that. Let me erase that stuff too. Just be thinking about that kind of stuff. So anyway, getting back to the problem, we have log base 3 of 4 is equal to 2x. And so if we divide both sides, it should do that, divide both sides by 2, and we get x is equal to the log base 3 of 4 over 2. Now, if you had to type that into the calculator, here's a quick little suggestion for you. Typing that into the calculator, you would write, you could write that as 1/2 times the log base 3 of 4. And then you would write that as 1/2 times log of 4 over log of 3. And then I'm not going to type it into my calculator. You could do that. But that would be a calculator-ready format for this particular equation. And then finally, we have 5 to the x equals 2. It's almost the same exact problem as the first one. But I would urge you to pause the video and try this one on your own. And so you have log base 5 of 2 is equal to x. We're done. We can we're done if we don't have to find or we don't have to type it into the calculator. If we had to type it into the calculator, we would write x equals log of 2 over log of 5, and then again you can type that into your calculator. Okay, so that wraps up our appetizer problems. And so hopefully that helps you understand how to do the basics. And again, the bread and butter is exactly what you want to be remembering. All this stuff up here on the top. Oops. Forget that. All this stuff up here on the top is what you just have to memorize. And the more examples you do, the easier it is to memorize that.